All right. So, let's answer the question personally, right?
Mm.
Anybody want to be brave enough to go first, or should I?
Well, what's the
Question one more
question? What's the
time.
question? What's the question?
Yeah. Do you motivate or manipulate?
Mm. Short answer, both.
Yeah.
Both. Okay. 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 Now, I'm saying manipulation. And I know it's a very broad term because it could be applied in different contexts, right? So it could be manipulation in the sense of you're trying to coerce somebody, or it could be manipulation in terms of trying to diffuse a situation,
Facts.
right? Right, but that's also a sense of control. So it's manipulation in the sense of control,
True.
right? But
True.
motivation is when you're recognizing the autonomy of whatever agency, whatever individual, and you're saying, I want to charge up your motivation. I want to drive you or point you in that direction. Like, yeah, I see the energy, but I want you to go that way. Let me see if I can guide you this way. How can we do that? Right. So that's motivating somebody, or rather, we're talking about leadership, really, when we're talking about motivating somebody, because that's what leaders do. Bosses manipulate, control. Leaders lead, they motivate, right? And so I think this is very important for us as men, because some may not want to admit it, but men are manipulative too. Right? It's not just because we're kind of in this zeitgeist right now. We're focusing on women manipulating, right? But men have been doing it too, and we have our ways, right? And it's very detectable. But I'm looking at this as a man in terms of family, your brotherhood, your community. And there's such a responsibility that's placed on us as leaders, right? But then you got tyrants too, right? But let's just, pull it back, right? So, King, you said both. Sherm,
I say both.
both.
Yeah.
All right, you do both. Okay, I can say that I do both, but I will admit in this phase of my life, it's more motivation, and I'm leaning more towards that. I'm leaning more towards that mainly because I like the challenge, and I'm realizing that manipulation is very temporary, right? And I'm starting to develop a orientation towards like long-term results. So I'm starting to realize that, okay, there's short-term or intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, right? So what can I do to influence this person to accomplish their goals that happen to align with mine? I like that challenge versus, all right, how can I get him to do this against his will? He don't want to do it. She don't want to do it. I know this. But how can I kind of trick them into doing it? I want to avoid that a little bit more now, right? But, where do you think that we developed this from? This sense of manipulation. Is it like cultural? Is it role models?
I'm gonna say
Bro.
it was developed right. I'm not trying to say both, but I think it was through getting an ass whooping.
Okay.
Real talk. Putting the belt to the behind, and
Okay.
trying to get you to understand that unless you don't want this pain anymore, be right. So some of us probably got away from whoopings and beatings to the point where you typically use verbiage to manipulate a person to steer them in the right direction. And even at that point, you're not real successful because just like Skywalker said, you'll come to a realization that it's temporary.
Yeah.
It's just for now. So if I don't equip you with the tools and the resources that you need to where you can rely on yourself, I've done you no type of justice at all. I even have to put you in a point where you can fish for yourself. At this point, I'm still saying you need to rely on something outside of yourself. That's not healthy. That's not healthy at all. So like you, Skywalker, I'm at the point now. I don't manipulate and I don't control them. I'm trying to give you a solution for longevity. And if I can motivate you in that direction, let's get it.
Yeah. Mine more so. Let's start with you start from the beginning. Mine came more so from a broken home, the Superman complex. Superman complex.
Cool.
So I started from a dangerous point and then dialed back into what I am now because of good leaders. You got to follow a little bit to be a leader, right? Because you don't just start a leader. Sometimes you don't have that example. So that's where I came from. So I just cultivated all this information up just to turn into who I need to be. Because I always had an idea of who I wanted to be. But you got to do the need first. You got to build your foundation. So however you come to me is how I'm going to treat you. If I have to manipulate you, because all I read is authenticity. So I'm a gauge where I think you are, and because that's all I can do. I'm a gauge where I think you are, and if I have to manipulate you to go that direction, a positive direction, I will. If I have to control you in a certain way and try to give you set rules that you can set for yourself in your mind, so you can still get that same direction, because only thing I want to see is you win, because that's all that matters.
So the outcome justifies the means.
Yeah, it justifies everything because it's the journey that we fall in love with, not the destination, player.
Oh, okay.